perspective, there is no reason to panic. There's no reason to have an inordinate amount of fear about this situation. There are different viruses that develop on an ongoing basis. Take everyone seriously. No confirmed cases of coronavirus in New York thus far. We would expect as time goes on that we will find a case of coronavirus. I understand the fear. We have the best healthcare system in the world. Excuse our arrogance on the planet right here in New York. You cannot contain the spread. You can slow it, you can limit it, but you can't contain it. That isn't a cause for anxiety either, because, well, what happens when a large number of people get infected? Which you're going to see a spread. By the way, I said 2 weeks ago, it's just a matter of time before we see our first case, then we saw our first case. I said yesterday, you will see a case of community spread. Here we are today, there's a case of community spread. I am telling you, it is inevitable, but that this will continue to spread. New Rochelle is a particular problem. Our testing capacity is nowhere near what it needs to be. Now, there'll be a retrospective one day. What happened? Why? You saw China, November, December. Last year, you saw the case coming. Why did it take so long for this country to get a testing protocol done? That will be for another day.
It was concerning, at least at first. I wasn't sure what exactly was going to happen. And then when they shut the NBA down, I was actually in Australia. I was in Melbourne, Australia at the time when they shut the NBA down. And they're like, you should come back because you might get stuck there. But the shutdown, I think, is what really got me.
When the pandemic first started, I guess I would say I was living my best life. I had recently just turned 21, was going out to all the clubs, just enjoying my life, enjoying my friends. I'm originally from St. Louis, Missouri, and so it wasn't until my junior year of high school until I really started enjoying my time here in New York. I was very much a homebody, and then that completely shifted, and New York definitely became my home. So when the pandemic first started, we were obviously sent home, and it was just a whole kind of shock to me. And home at one point was a very toxic place for me. So having to go back there and not being around the people that I love most and bring me the most happiness was really hard. I went home and I was forced by my parents to self-isolate at our condo at Lake of the Ozarks for 2 weeks when I flew home. So that was also really hard, just being completely alone for all that time. But I didn't come back to New York until beginning of August. And so just being away from the city for so long was really hard, just because it is my new home and I don't see myself living anywhere else anytime soon. So it was a lot to handle, but I mean, I'm glad I'm seeing a light at the end of the tunnel more and more every day. So
it would be for the community and the conversation, absolutely. There's no jukebox, no TVs here. It's about getting together and sitting down, discussing with one another different topics, be it baseball, be it the softball team that they have here, cultivating those human relationships that you would normally not get if you're staring up at a ball game or you're down on your phone or whatever. And it's the cultural hub of the neighborhood.
Yeah, I mean, before pandemic, I would be here probably 2 times a week, maybe once in the middle of the week, and definitely a Thursday, Friday, Saturday night as well. It's definitely a great place for community and friends, and just having ourselves a random night and just meeting here is just a sense of community, and this is always a good meeting spot. So
I would say gosh darn fun. First thing came to my head.
community, family, and friendship.
I'm no scientist, so I'll just, defer to those who have done the research and things like that. I mean, I don't have any problem to like wearing a mask or whatever, or, you put on a mask and sunglasses, it's like a really good way to just like avoid people. The rules and the regulations, like is it all bullshit? Like, I don't know. Isn't everything all bullshit? Like, yeah.
So I don't remember when it was. It was at some point in the past year, last semester. It was only outside, so it was definitely much different. Most of my time here was spent inside, just because in the past it was just the 3 or 4 picnic tables outside, and those were always taken. And so most of the time here was spent inside. So coming back and just being outside, it was very different vibes. But I was very happy to come back. My first time here was with my parents. They visited my freshman year, and so every time my parents would visit, we would come here and just...
I feel like we're getting back to the before times. We're getting back to the, we're getting back to the before times. Things are rocking, things are rolling, Are we there yet? No. Do I have some reservations? Like, sure, of course,
At the end of the tunnel, just bigger and bigger. It's starting to feel so much more normal now, which I'm so happy about. Everybody's getting vaccinated, which is great. Just seeing things going back to normal, I think, is wonderful.
You can come in, you can sit down with anyone, everyone, you're always going to know somebody. And even if you don't, you could just introduce yourself, sit down, have a chat. It's wonderful. It's about the community aspect, and it's about cultivating the human interactions, the humanity that I feel like has been lost in the digital age that we are now finding ourselves in. With all like everything's online these days, and now it's like here, like I said, there's no TVs, no jukebox. You get the live music, which is fantastic. There's always something cultural going on. There's always some type of artistry going on, and yeah.
Light at the end of the tunnel getting bigger and bigger every day. We're seeing more and more restrictions being released and lightened. So this summer, I'm hoping for a really fun summer, a good summer spent with close friends. I think it's going to be great. Definitely, I don't think there's going to be more lockdowns, but I think we're all coming together as a community and kind of knowing that the only way to get through this is all of us coming together, whether it be vaccines or just protecting each other through social distancing and whatnot.
Fantastic. The softball team plays 6 o'clock on Fridays down in Vanny. Come check them out.